Hi everyone, welcome to this Bestseller Club series interview. And this is Bathla here. I'm author of 22 books and have sold 1 lakh plus copies. And now I'm running a community called Author Freedom Hub, which is now having 2000 plus authors in the community or writing, publishing and marketing their books independently. And in this today's episode, I'm really proud to have Dr. Vijayalakshmi Aluri from Hyderabad. And her list of credentials is really amazing. So before I let her, first of all, let me welcome Dr. Vijayalakshmi. Welcome, Dr. Vijayalakshmi. Pleasure to have you here. I'll just quickly give a brief introduction of Dr. Vijayalakshmi, and after that, we'll be just jumping into this value-packed interview today. So Dr. Vijayalakshmi has joined the community Author Freedom Hub in the month of August 2020, and she has published her 2 books in the last 1.5 years, and both are bestseller in India. And before that, Dr. Vijayalakshmi's background, let me just quickly touch upon. She is a gynecologist by profession with 51 years of active practice, and she has conducted over 20,000 deliveries. Yes, and she has got many credentials. I will let her speak of them, but let me just talk about a few. She has trained 20,000 adolescent girls and 500 lady teachers on adolescent girl health. And she has been given awards like Kendriya Sahitya Akademi and Who is Who of Writers and Indian Translators. A lot of credentials. So thank you so much, Dr. Aluri, for being here. So let's start the discussion. You wrote these 2 wonderful books. So let's start with your quick journey from beginning till here and what made you a writer. Yes, please go ahead.
I came to know about your training and mentorship by Facebook, and I attended your webinar, free webinar, and joined in the community. Then actually I am a writer of short stories, novels, health education books, essays since 60 years. And all the my books were published by traditional publishers all these years.
Right.
But after knowing your mentorship for self-publication, I was enthused and joined in the community, and I learned few skills to self-publish, and I published my first book in the month of January. But the thing is, I didn't know the ABC of marketing and promotion. So I left it like that for a few months. Then I wrote my second book, and I promoted both the books at a time. And the second book, Battlefield, is a bestseller in 5 categories. Wonderful. And the first book, The War, is bestseller in 2 categories. Wonderful. I'm very happy being a bestseller because this is a new thing for me, and I'm excited. And that's Wonderful. Because of your mentorship and your inspiration and your teaching.
Thank you so
and
much.
Few people in the community also helped me in the promotion and marketing.
Wonderful. So Dr. Lori, tell me, like you have a very vast experience of, in the gynecological profession, and also a lot of credentials you have. I have in front of me. I cannot speak all of them, but yes, that list is very long. So you have been already published by the traditional publishers. What is the difference you felt when you published through them, and what is the kind of feeling you have right now when you publish yourself and marketed yourself? Just talk about that.
Publishing is empowerment, happiness, freedom. So all these put together will have an excellent feeling of joy and happiness. So this is entirely different. The traditional publishing is we depend on other people. They may or may not promote. Maybe they promote for their own profits, but this is everything is in our hands. If we learn and follow your guidance, definitely we'll get a good recognition. Maybe one day we may become entrepreneurs like you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Dr. Luri, just tell us, tell the people here who are sitting here. I mean, you have, after so much vast experience, you have been open to learn so many new things. What What makes you such a keen learner at this age also, like with such a huge experience and with all that stuff, you are still, acting like just a student and learning new stuff. What makes you that? Talk about that.
Every person should be a learner, lifelong. Otherwise, we will become stale and energyless. So we must be eternally learning something or other. And this is my passion. Writing is my passion. So if I publish myself, that also becomes a passion now. So after learning the art and science of publishing, self-publishing, I'm enjoying this also.
Wonderful. So
learning is also an enjoyment.
Wonderful. So let's go back very, very back when you wrote your first book or first whatever article you wrote. Talk about that since when it was, and from there till the date of self-publishing, how many books you have published already and what kind of experience you have. Talk about that.
My first story was a prize winner in a competition, Diwali competition, short story competition by a famous Telugu weekly magazine. Then I was in my first year MBBS.
Which year it was? Which year?
First year MBBS. I was in first year MBBS. I was 17 years old.
Okay.
So I was a vast reader, voracious reader since my childhood. And the voracious reading inspires to write also. So since then I have been writing short stories on and off. And after some years, I wrote my novels also, 4 novels. And after starting my practice, in my practice, I come across as a gynecologist, I deal with the problems of the women, not only health problems. They tell their own family problems, social problems, psychological problems. So I come to know their stories, real life stories live. So enthused by those stories, I wanted to write some stories on patients. Okay. So one publisher of one editor of one popular weekly in Telugu, he asked me to write small stories on the patients. That is, patients, stories told by patients. Patient cheppe kathalu in Telugu. So I wrote for 32 weeks. Okay. That came as a short story collection, Patient cheppe kathalu. And I wrote about 150 stories, short stories, 4 novels. I wrote health education books also. So health education books also were prompted by my patients only. Because when you are in busy practice, we cannot give the information they need. We cannot invest our time, so much time. So the advices I want to give to them about their daily precautions or the diet or the exercise, whatever, I wrote in the book form. I published myself, gave them as free copy. Okay. After some time, one big publisher, they want to publish it. And they have been publishing since then. Okay. And it is now sold on Amazon. Wonderful. Then World Bank in 2004, they announced a competition, projects competition, innovative projects competition to improve the rural services in India. That is India Development Marketplace. Right. Then they have around 1,500 projects were submitted from all over India, from big houses, corporate houses, big NGOs. And I also submitted one project by title, Adolescent Girls as Promoters of Basics in Feminine Hygiene, Health and Nutrition. And my project was one of the 50 finalists. And we were asked to come to Delhi to present our project. And all international organizations representatives came as jury and selected 20 projects among these 50 projects. And Honorable President of India, Sri Abdul Kalam, was the chief guest on that day. Wonderful. So my project was one of them.
Wonderful.
And we were given $20,000 to implement that project.
Amazing.
We implemented that project in 1 year. The World Bank has evaluated after 6 months and finally after 1 year. And after that, they announced 5 best implemented projects. And mine was one of them.
Amazing.
So I'm among the 20 projects all over India.
Wonderful.
So then the World Bank has sent a special correspondent from Dainik Jagran. You all must be knowing Dainik Jagran, how popular it is. So a special correspondent has come, evaluated our project, seen the places, interacted with the girls, and wrote a story, success story. That was published in Dainik Jagran in 2008.
Wonderful.
World Bank also sent a crew from In Channel. They also covered all our project areas and interacted with the people. And they made a video. And all these 5 best implemented projects, they made it as a 5 success stories. Amazing. As a video. Amazing. So they are projecting that in all the countries wherever the World Bank presence is there as a model projects. So since then, since 2006, I have been implementing, though there is no financial backup with all my money, with all my colleagues, with all my co-workers, we have been implementing. I used to go to the schools and teach the girls. And with the support of the district collector and Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan people, I have trained around 5,000 lady teachers on these aspects. Nutrition, health, hygiene, sexual abuse of the girls, right, and the life skills. All these things I used to cover, and they made a difference. That training and that teaching has made a difference in their lives. Wonderful. And their parents used to give us feedback, good feedback, and we were so happy. That's the reward for us.
Amazing, amazing. You're doing such a great job for the humanity. And
still, I have distributed 1 lakh copies of that small booklet, Adolescent Girls Health.
Okay.
So even now, some rural development trusts from Anantapur, they are taking around 3,000 to 4,000 copies each year. Amazing. And distributing to the girls in their district as an outreach program.
What a wonderful job you're doing. Amazing, amazing. Great, great to hear all of that. And I'm sure those who are watching this interview, they must be definitely getting inspired by the kind of role you are playing in the society's development, especially for women. So wonderful. So talk about what kind of books you have written in the past and what kind of books are these? And then we'll be getting into current books.
Mostly my writings are on the women's issues.
Okay.
And the social issues, the injustices, irregularities, the discrimination, the abuses, the atrocities faced by women, and the role of patriarchal society, and the insensitivity of the police and judiciary system towards the women, and the political system, which is also equally insensitive, and the trials and tribulations faced by women.
Got it.
And I project them as warriors and finally emerge as triumphant. So I don't expect the women, I don't hope, I do hope that they will become strong. And all my literature is to give a voice to the voiceless people.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let me just show the audience your 2 books which you have authored. Let me just show the people. Here we go on the screen. I'm showing it to you. Let me just show them. Here we go. These are the books, Battlefield and the War. So War is the first book and Battlefield is the second book, right? Okay. So let's talk about a little bit about these books. And you are already talking about that you are writing primarily for women empowerment. So let's let the audience know a bit about these books, what these books are all about, what you have mentioned in them. please.
The War is a collection of 7 stories.
Okay.
The War is about about a gynecologist in the first wave of pandemic. And not only a gynecologist, but the patients and in general, and the health system also. So that is one story, and different stories are all the different stories are on different issues.
Right.
Like I said, on the women's issues, the challenges they have faced in their lives, and how they are. How the whole family is dependent on the woman's earnings.
Right.
Previously, a few years back, we used to think and hope that if a woman becomes economically independent, her problems will be solved. But no, it has proved, the time has proved that they are not solved. They have come in new forms. They are still facing the brutality of the systems. Now too often we are hearing how the women are insulted, how the women are ill-treated, how the women are raped and killed. Their right to life is all denied.
Correct.
So I'm pained by witnessing all these things. So I translate my pain, my anger, my anxiety in stories. And I question the systems. Why so much of injustice towards women?
Yes, very heart touching. In fact, when we see around what is happening with women, and you're rightly saying that despite that financial issues are being sold, now women in the corporate world, they are mistreated, ill-treated, and they are not, because it's still the long way to go, because women is still minority in the corporate workplaces, and things are improving. But yes, as you're rightly saying that there is a lot more work to be done, and people like you who are you are women, you are taking care of women's health by way of gynecological profession, and by also you are taking care of women by addressing their other issues, which are like mistreatment. So what a wonderful combination you are doing. Profession of yours, your hobby of writing is also dedicated towards that, and as a woman you are also understanding the so that's why writing a book is something which is contribution to the world. Now people might be see, you are a doctor, you are really very busy in your profession, and still you're finding out time to write all these things. So a big salute to you, and those who are watching this interview, I'm sure they're getting a lot of value nuggets from you, and as to how a person should live a life in general. Wonderful. Great. So thank you so much, Dr. Aluri. And let me just ask you quickly, and when you wrote this book, who was your target reader? Who should be reading these books? Primarily women, or is there some age bracket or some other gender specific issues you thought about?
I believe that women's issues are not the issues of merely women.
Yes.
The women's problems are men's problems also. The family's problems also. The society's problems also. So the men and the society as a whole should be sensitive towards the problems and the sufferings of women. They should change. Women also should change. I agree. They should be confident, fight with resilience. But how far they can fight if the society is not changed, if the men are not changed? I don't blame men also. The patriarchal model of society, I blame.
Yes.
Men are also the victims of the society. The society has made them like that.
Correct.
So who will change? We only should change. Change the form of the society. So men and women together, they should change the society to a better form. For all of us to live happily.
Absolutely. Yes. I totally agree with you. A man is just a man, not a man. He is a husband. He is a father of daughters. He is a brother of sisters. So it's a responsibility of every human being. I mean, when a woman is suffering, it's not only her, her role to fight for that. It's a man also, because being a father of 2 daughters, I also realized that my daughter should be strong, empowered, And that way, yes, every human being who is facing the atrocities of this patriarchal man dominant world, they need to come forward and give women a equal space. And thank you so much for your contribution in the form of books. And the second book is
I also
yeah.
I also started a old age home for old women.
Okay, great.
And
Awesome.
we used to run a cell for victims and a rehabilitation center.
Wonderful, wonderful, great, great. So, doctor, you have done this thing, like you have given 100,000 copies of your booklet to people to read free. So, in a way, you are contributing a lot. You're contributing directly, indirectly in a way, and your writing is also definitely adding value to the lives of people. So, talk to those people who have something valuable to share with the world, but they are just not understanding how to give that message to the world. So tell them whether writing a book can help their message to come out in the world. Talk to those people.
Definitely. Writing a book gives us more, the wider audience. More people will read and more people will come to know. I believe that literature will change the society.
Wonderful.
Whether good or bad, the society will be influenced by the literature. Absolutely. So whenever we write a letter, a word, we should have a responsibility to think that my word or my sentence or my story is contributing to the good of the society or bad of the society.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great.
So we should be responsible writers.
Amazing. So, doctor, let's now change the gears a little bit. Somebody who is thinking of writing a book and who says that I'm too busy to write a book. So can you talk to that person? You are, I mean, I as a doctor, you're really too busy, but you're still writing the books consistently. So talk to that person whether being busy is just an excuse, or is there something really busy?
I feel it is partly an excuse. If you are really determined, if you are really passionate, you'll squeeze some time to write something.
How do
time management and prioritizing your issues.
How do you plan your time? And when you are now not only writing, you're publishing yourself, promoting yourself. How do you plan your time out of your busy schedule? You're still doing practice, right?
Yes, I'm doing, but my time is not in my hands. Every time you tell that allocate some fixed time and write at least 500 words. So, but that's not possible for me.
So how did you plan the 2 books which you wrote and published? So like what time of the day you were writing? Morning, evening,
whenever I get a time, I'm writing. Okay. And there is no fixed time for me, unfortunately. Okay. But it's better. What you tell is good. To allocate some time, some place, some mood to write perfect things, quality things. Right. That would help. Amazing. But for me, it's not possible because suppose if I am awake all the night, I cannot allocate in the morning. Got it. Yeah, I think you're doing the right thing because, either we plan the things. So if we are, if our time is not permitting, then whatever time you can squeeze, then squeeze that time. So basically, you write it's partly an excuse because if something is very important to you, you'll make the way to do it. If something is not, then you'll make excuses. That's a wonderful quote by somebody. Great. So, doctor, tell the people who are not part of the community yet, how your life has become different, because I see you on every weekly session on Wednesday 8 p.m. You are there live, sitting there taking notes. So how your life has changed after joining Author Freedom Hub? What was before that and after that? How your writing style or your kind of general lifestyle has changed? Some discipline has come in my writing schedule. And I am eager to learn more and more from you and from our co-authors. There are so many wonderful authors in our community, so inspiring, so young people, and so gifted people. So I derive inspiration from all those people. So at this age, why I am sitting with you every week means that is the joy I am getting.
Absolutely.
The joy of learning.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So I tell all the new learners or who want to write, your coaching and your guidance is the best thing.
Thank you.
So I welcome all those people to come to your community, have your guidance, and write many more books.
Wonderful. And also connect with the amazing people like you in the community. You know, we have so many amazing people in the, as you're rightly saying,
Yes, yes,
right now.
So many inspiring people, so many helping people.
Absolutely. Because we have the formula called AHA, AHA. Authors helping authors. Wonderful. So, Doctor, we talked about your background, very impressive profile, talked about your role in the society, what you're doing, how World Bank has acknowledged the contribution you have done. We talked about your book, your journey. You talked about your writing journey. We talked about your, advice to people who are not writing or who should write. So it was really a great time spent with you, and I'm sure people will be loving this interview. And let me for a moment talk to the audience who's watching this. Hey, someone, if you are really interested in writing a book and taking charge of publishing journey, taking charge of marketing journey, then I have posted below the link to join my next webinar or some training. Click on that, watch that, and you'll be learning how this community author Freedom Hub can help you to fast track your journey, because we are not just giving the courses. It's a community coaching and courses combination. And if you're somebody who is caring about women empowerment, which everybody should do, not only women, every person should consider this as their duty, responsibility, then I invite you to try the books of Dr. Aluri, The War and the Battlefield, which is specifically about women empowerment stories. And definitely you'll be gaining a lot of value nuggets out of them. So links are posted down in the video below, and watch this, click those links and buy those books. And thank you so much, Dr. Aluri. It was amazing to have you. Now, before I let you go, based on your vast life experience, I want you to say bye-bye after leaving a parting piece of advice for everybody who's watching this interview, please.
Lifelong learner and contribute to the society. Society has given us so much. Society has nurtured us thus far. So we should give back something. Something may not be in a material thing, but your knowledge, your attitude, and the inspiration you give.
Amazing. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to interact with you. And thank you so much, everybody who's watching this interview. And I'll be back next time with some more interview. And thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.